Ain't much to it.
Thin.
Yeah.
Hey there. So I decided to go ahead and do a voiceover on the rest of this, mainly because my husband was talking and my son was talking, and neither one of them really like to be on video. So right there, he's drilling the little pilot holes to get the jigsaw in so that he can cut out the area. Because we are in our storage unit currently, we don't really have a place. We live in town and we built onto the house, and there's a garden in the yard and stuff, and we just really don't have a place for our pop-up at home. So with it being in the storage unit, we had to have power for our little jigsaw, and that's the one thing I don't have that's battery powered. All my other stuff is battery powered, or my husband's stuff is battery powered, except of course for that one thing. So we took out our Jackery and used that to plug in, and it did it just fine. It barely used any of the power up in the Jackery. Like, you can hardly even tell that it used any. So yeah, he's just gonna get that put in there. And there's so much stuff in the camper. Eventually I'll get it put away, but I have to go put it up, and I don't want to do that in the rain because I don't really have a place to let it sit very well, to let it dry. So, and right now I'm working Monday through Friday, so I only have the weekends, and of course it tends to rain, so you know how that goes. So he's just cutting the holes there. Pretty much I could have played music through this whole thing and it would have been just as self-explanatory with the little things that I put, the little taglines or whatever, but I feel like I need to talk to y'all anyway a little bit. So the camper that we have is a pop-up camper. It's a high wall. It's a Forest River Rockwood Freedom, I think, high wall 277. So it's a 2022. I like it. It's really tall on the inside, so it's kind of hard for me to reach things. I'm gonna have to take a step stool with me. It's just really tall. So there's going to be some improvements we're going to do to the camper other than this. And we'll try to show you. I'll try to show you as much as that as we can as we go along and do it. But this was the main thing I wanted. I have lithium batteries. I have a new power station. Not power station. It's not just the converter. It's like the whole power converter. It's like the whole thing. So I have a new one of those. And I'll tell you more about that later and why I chose the one I did choose. So we tried to find our wires. So if you have a high wall 277, you may have to take the fire extinguisher out in order to get to them. It wasn't, you could feel them. Like when you stuck your hand in the hole up there and reached down, you could feel them, but there's a, so right there you can see where those red and white, where the wires go up. Right where they go up, there's a little platform that goes straight across there. So you can't, you can't dip down, like you can't put your hand down in there, other than over on this corner. So, but the good thing is they were all marked. You see my husband there reading one of them to see what it said, so that he could put it on. And I thought he was testing it right here, but he was actually going to put it on there. And I was like, babe, you gotta run the wire behind there. But anyway, I saved him before he put it on there. could have just let him do it, and then he'd been like, man, I gotta take it all apart. So he got all of them ready, and then pushed them up. It's hard to see sometimes because you pushed them up into that little hole there and got them ready to go in. We put in the Go Power 30 amp. There's 6. I don't know how many screws you can count there on the back, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 6 spots there, and the first 2 are for the battery positive and negative, and then you've got your solar panel positive and negative, and then that third set is if you have a second battery bank, which I think I don't know if you can like actually hook up an actual second battery bank, or if it's more for a battery bank like for your slides and stuff like that. I don't have a second battery bank, so we didn't do anything to that one. We just put the 4 that we needed. He does telephone wires and stuff for a living, so he's pretty used to doing these kinds of things. It's not, we unhooked the battery before we did this. Make sure everything's turned off or your battery's unhooked. Our solar panels are not on the top. They're not actually plugged in. So you have to do this part first. This has to be connected to your battery, to my understanding, before you hook up your solar panels. If you hook up your solar panels to this, it can damage your controller if it's not hooked up to the battery. Or that's my understanding. So this was our first part. I'm hoping, I don't know for sure because it just depends on who you talk to. I have heard that if you have our power converter box, that powers the whole camper, only goes up to 13 point something volts, and the lithium batteries are 14.6, I think 14.4 or 14.6. My understanding is because this charge controller has a space or a setting to do my brain will kick in, lithium. So it will charge lithium batteries. However, my charge controller will not fully charge my lithium batteries. So I'm hoping, until I get that other piece installed, that this charge controller will fully charge my batteries. Because if not, my understanding of the lithium batteries is if they don't, then it will make them not keep their life as long. It'll make them go bad faster because they're not getting fully charged, so they're discharging and recharging more times, so it lowers their lifespan. But again, don't quote me on this. I am not an electrician. I'm not a professional. It's just from my research of what I've learned. And you know how the internet is. Not everybody's an expert that says they are. But that's my understanding. So I'm hoping that this will. If not, I'll just, unplug them. Because right now our batteries are unplugged. And I just left them unplugged because I'm going to trade them out. And so my son and him putting the fire extinguisher back in. So there you go. See you guys later. Bye.